MSU students in Nicaragua,
how to jumpstart your career,
and what students think about campus food. All next on Inside MSU.
Hello and welcome to Inside MSU. I'm Tanja Reiki.
And I'm Tyler Johnston. 18 students and 2 MSU faculty members visited Nicaragua for 10 days during winter break. Their mission? To experience the culture and environment of one of the most needy communities in Central America. Inside MSU spoke to some students about their experiences.
Team Nicaragua is a student delegation that starts an ambitious 3-phase process beginning in the spring, all in an effort to educate students about social and economic issues in one of the world's underdeveloped countries.
So the first phase is more of like the prerequisite to the education. It's the development part. It's the part where you actually apply to the program and you learn about it, and then you get accepted. And once you get accepted, phase 1 begins, and you start raising funds.
The second phase is actually for us was 10 days of going to Nicaragua and just learning as much as we possibly could. So meeting all the people and just witnessing and just taking back this information.
You start learning about things that you maybe read about before, and then you start experiencing things, and you start meeting people, and you meet with economists, and you meet with people that run clinics out of their homes, and people that work in official clinics, and people that do peace promotion and fair trade and free trade. And you just learn so many things that you've never even knew existed before, and it's just such an incredible opportunity.
The students had many shocking and powerful experiences. None were more powerful than La Characa.
I think for me, one of the most difficult experiences was listening to the story of Yamile. She and her family lived off La Characa, which is the largest garbage dump in Central America. And she spoke about how her daughter is really sick and that they found rice in the garbage dump that people had poured oil over because they didn't want the people who lived off the garbage dump to take it. And that despite her daughter being sick and this rice not being good enough for humans to eat, that they did the best they could to wash it off, and that they had to eat it because it's the only food they had, and that they would choose not to eat all day long just to try and gain enough appetite to eat this.
And the families basically live off the dump. They try to survive off the dumps. So they use it for food. They use it to provide for financial means. They try to find any kind of glass or aluminum or any kind of, metals that they can sell and recycle and get any sort of money. So what they did is they developed their whole life around, and they created these little communities.
Although the experiences in La Characa were difficult, the students were also able to see where differences were being made.
Los Quinchos was probably one of the most amazing experiences from the whole delegation, just because of what they do there. Carlos Vidal, who created it with a woman from Italy, she actually came and saw the La Characa, which is the garbage dump. There was children living there and in the streets because they had a Revolutionary War in the 80s, which left a lot of their parents, deceased, so they had just an influx of children just walking the streets starving to death. And Carlos Vidal actually used to be one of those children, and he got an opportunity to get out of that lifestyle and to make a more better life for himself. So he, in turn, developed Los Quinchos for those children that had a similar circumstance for himself.
The kids there, they're often abused. They're street children. They were beggars. Some of the girls were prostitutes. A lot of them were on drugs. And we went to visit them, and it was fun. It was beautiful. We got off the truck, and all the kids, they ran up, and they were hugging us and kissing us, and they didn't know us, and they were using our cameras and taking pictures of us. And they did a show for us where they danced and had like this big party, and that was really nice. And especially for me, because I'm not usually a child person. Like I'm not a kid person at all. Like I like kids in small doses. I don't like the whole running and grabbing all over me, but I liked it. I thought it was cute.
Now that the students have returned, they moved on to the most important phase.
Now the third phase is the activism phase, and that's saying, what did I learn and what can I do with it? Who can I share this with, and how can I educate myself and others to make an impact and make change.
If you're interested in becoming a part of Team Nicaragua, visit the Center for Nonviolence and Peace located on the second floor of the Student Center or call 973-655-7033.
As Sinatra Hall and the Heights are completed to accommodate more residents on campus, Blanton, Webster, and Stone Hall will be closed in the fall. This comes as news to all the students who dorm just days before the March 3rd application fee deadline. With rumors of renovations, it's not clear what will be done with these dorms during the semester they'll be closed to students. The school is saying not to be concerned about the amount of bed spaces and that all students will be accommodated on campus.
The Millennium Radio Group was on campus recruiting potential interns earlier this month. Inside MSU's Christian DeMarco was there.
Jammed the much-anticipated information session hosted by the radio group. Students anxiously waited for an opportunity to jumpstart their careers.
Definitely planning on following through because I'm kind of in dire need of hands-on experience, and I'm really trying to, get my feet wet. So that's why I'm planning on following through.
Radio executives informed students about their internships and job openings, as this is a new approach for the radio chain towards recruitment outreach. In the end, students were ready to take action.
I think the internships will be fun and get a lot of experience, and I'm thinking about applying for the Trenton one or the Atlantic City. A lot of students are looking for internships and they don't really know where to go or how to go about it, so I think this presentation was informative.
Finally, students got a chance to meet one-on-one with radio executives. Millennium Radio spokeswoman Jamie Cook spoke exclusively with Inside MSU.
Encompasses all of New Jersey. We have 11 radio stations, and then our 12th is a shorealternative.com, which is an online radio station. And we have offices in Trenton, we have offices in Northfield, and we have offices in Monmouth and Ocean County. Wherever they're interested, wherever they're at during the summertime, or if they want to take the trip in the fall or the summer, we're just looking for some great interns to help us out.
It was definitely a great seminar, packed with useful information on how to jumpstart your career. So stay tuned for more upcoming events. For Inside MSU, I'm Christian DeMarco.
Interested in becoming more involved on campus? The SGA elections are right around the corner. If you're interested in running for president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, associate justice, or board of trustee alternate, pick up a petition at the SGA office in the Student Center. In order to appear on the ballot, applicants must complete a petition and application and head it in to Betty DeRose, SGA office administrator, by tomorrow, Friday, March 11th. Questions about the process? Contact an SGA e-board member or Chris Preciado, Attorney General, in the Student Center, room 103.
The SGA Legislative Food Committee convened last week to hear student opinions on food options and dining hall hours. Inside MSU asks students how they feel about food on campus in this week's Student Views.
Hey guys, we asked students if they think Montclair State should have healthier options on their menu.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm a commuter, but when I eat, sometimes I eat at Blanton, and sometimes the food is really bad. They have the same thing, like cheeseburgers, pizzas, fries that, same old fries. And personally, I think they should, because, a lot of people really trying to, eat healthy, especially for the summer now. They're trying to stay in shape, and eat right.
Value meal that they have now, they're taking a step in the right direction because the food's getting more affordable there, because before I didn't go there because it was too expensive. I'd rather go to Blanton or Freeman where I can get food for one swipe, and the Student Center has that now, so I like it. That's one thing, but there's not that much. The food is very generic.
I was looking for something healthy, and it was actually kind of difficult, and all I could find was a little cup with carrots and celery, and it was like $3. And I was like, okay, well, I guess that's what I'll have. But everything else was cheaper, and there was a lot more options on unhealthy choices for lunch and breakfast. So.
Hell no.
Heck no.
Why
what
would
they
we do that?
What they need is they need to stop giving these constant passes at nasty
Seriously.
Blanton and nasty Freeman.
No salads, no fruits. I don't want any of it.
It's pretty,
personal pies. That's what I want. Just personal pies.
It's the equivalent to eating jail food. No seasoning.
Yeah.
There's no ingredients in there. It's straight mush, and they present it as food. We don't want to eat healthy here. What we want to do is enjoy college. Me personally, I pay over 20 grand.
Exactly.
So what I want to eat is whatever I please. And what I please is something good. So that's what we're going to have to start with.
Well, it seems Montclair State needs to get on the ball with it. That's it for this week's Student Views. I'm Nicole Santana. Back to you.
time for our Red Hawks sports update. Let's head over to Rob Dickerson with this week's sports report. Rob?
Thanks, Tyler. The men's lacrosse team honored coach John Greco, who recently passed away, with an opening win against Muhlenberg here at home on Saturday. Freshman Trevor Teal and sophomore Jack Skeels combined for 2 points apiece in the Hawks' 9-5 victory. Montclair got off to an early lead, scoring the only goal in the first quarter, and kept Muhlenberg comfortably behind for the rest of the game. The women's team, however, didn't get off to such a good start. The defending champ Lady Hawks faced off with Drew's Rangers, and despite a powerful performance from junior Cora Delfini, Drew started scoring early, and the Hawks just couldn't keep up. Even with a late rally of 3 goals, Montclair fell to their rivals 13-6. Both lacrosse teams play Dickinson and Stephen colleges this Saturday. The men's basketball team faced off against NJCU in the championship game last Friday. Inside MSU's Elliot Marco was there.
It was a gloomy and depressing scene Friday night in Jersey City as the MSU men's basketball season came to an end, losing by a final score of 72-67. Senior Rodney Freedney led all scorers with 24 points, and Tyrone Prewitt chipped in with 10. Montclair was able to hold their own in the first half, leading a few minutes before halftime, but ended up going into halftime with a 1-point deficit. It was obvious what halftime adjustments needed to be made. However, Montclair couldn't seem to get back on track, going just 18 of 27 from the line and poor shooting from the field. Despite the loss, Montclair has nothing to hang their heads on, as they opened the eyes of many and gained an abundant amount of respect from their fans and their opponents. For Inside MSU, I'm Elliot Marco.
Thanks, Elliot. That's it for this week in MSU Sports. I'm Rob Dickerson. Go Red Hawks, because we don't play games. And now here's Kyle Falcon with This Week in Entertainment. Kyle?
Thanks, Rob. The Academy Awards this past Sunday was the show to watch. Over 71 million viewers tuned in to see who would be taking an Oscar home. The pre-show red carpet event showcased celebrities as they arrived in their Sunday best. My pick for this year's Best Dressed, Mila Kunis wearing a lovely lilac Elie Saab gown. Worst dressed? Sorry, Gwyneth Paltrow. That platinum Calvin Klein dress just didn't do it for you. The show itself began with a bang, with hosts Anne Hathaway and James Franco looking elegant as ever. Hathaway was her usual bubbly self, but Franco seemed a little, well, like he had arrived on the Pineapple Express. We all know the Academy wanted these two to attract a younger crowd, but alas, the 18 to 49 demographic was down 10% from last year. They did, however, brighten the show with their movie spoofs and Hathaway's 7 wardrobe changes. The presentations were off to a slow start until Melissa Leo from The Fighter picked things up by dropping the F-bomb on air during her acceptance speech. One thing I was really looking forward to was the appearance of the unknown political street artist Banksy, who was nominated for Best Documentary. The masked street artist claimed he was going to show up at the awards with a monkey mask, but this caused controversy because no one would have really known if it was him accepting the award. No worries though, Chad Beck's Inside Job won the category. My biggest disappointment, though, was 127 Hours not taking home the Oscar for Best Editing. I mean, seriously, a film based around one person trapped between 2 rocks is pretty hard to keep visually interesting. But I'd say, overall, it was a good show. Congrats to all of the winners, and let's hope Christopher Nolan actually gets nominated for next year's awards. That's it for this year's Oscars recap. Back to you.
Thanks, Kyle. Greek fraternity Lambda Sigma Upsilon and Lasso hosted an event called Where We Come From this past Monday night. The goal? To educate the campus community about 3 faces that are a big part of American history: the Taino Indian, the African slave, and the conquistador. By highlighting these overlooked people in our heritage, the groups hope to promote unity among all races and their origins.
Well, that's all for this week's edition of Inside MSU. I'm Tandra Reiki.
And I'm Tyler Johnson. Thanks for watching.